On December 8, 2000, Trevor Deely vanished without a trace after leaving a Dublin nightclub, leaving behind a family desperate for answers. His last known sightings, a brief interaction caught on CCTV with a mysterious man, and another recording where he appears to be followed by a different man, has haunted his loved ones for over 2 decades. What secrets does this footage hold? Could the key to solving the mystery be hidden in the shadows of these tapes, or are they yet another dead end? Welcome to Bad Things. Join us as we delve into the mystery of Trevor Deeley's disappearance and attempt to analyze what most likely happened to him. Trevor was born on August 15, 1978, in Naas, County Kildare, Ireland, to parents Michael and Anne Deely. He was the youngest of 4 siblings, with an older brother Mark and 2 older sisters, Michelle and Pamela. Growing up in a close-knit family and being the youngest of the lot, Trevor was surrounded by love and support. As a child, Trevor was described as easygoing and friendly. He had a cheerful disposition and was well liked by those around him. However, like many young people, he struggled to find his true calling during his teenage years. This uncertainty about his future would sometimes weigh on him, but his family's support and encouragement helped navigate his path. Trevor's older siblings played an essential role in his life, guiding him as he transitioned into adulthood. After finishing school, Trevor initially pursued a degree in business at the Waterford Institute of Technology, but dropped out in his 2nd year. After struggling to find his true calling, Trevor found his passion in technology. His older sister Michelle discovered an IT certification course in Dublin, and Trevor decided to enroll. As his father Michael noted, it was like turning a key in a lock. Trevor excelled in this new field, showcasing a natural aptitude for technology. This proves that the Deely family shared a really close bond. They often spent time together and supported one another through life's ups and downs. In May 1999, Trevor accepted a position at the Bank of Ireland Asset Management, where he worked in the IT department. He quickly became known as a reliable and hard-working employee. His positive attitude and strong work ethic made him well-liked among colleagues, including his manager, who praised him for being trustworthy and dependable. His manager, Dara Tracy, described him as a happy, sociable, and focused employee. He was well-liked among his colleagues for his positive attitude and strong work ethic. Trevor was known for his integrity and trustworthiness. Tracy remarked, "He never bitched about other people or gave out about them. He had a very good work ethic. He was a good guy." This sentiment was supported by many who worked with him. They appreciated his friendly demeanor and the dedication he had to his job. Outside of work, Trevor enjoyed spending time with friends. He was described as easygoing and approachable, often engaging in light-hearted banter with those around him. His friends noted that he had a good sense of humor and was always up for a night out. Just weeks before his disappearance, Trevor traveled to Alaska to visit a girl he had met during her summer holiday in Dublin. This showed his adventurous spirit and his openness to new experiences. Day of disappearance. It was common for the office-goers to head out after work on Thursday nights. This was the case on December 7, 2000. Trevor started his evening at Copperface Jack's, a popular bar in Dublin, where he met up with colleagues before heading to the Hilton Hotel for the office Christmas party. The atmosphere was lively and filled with laughter as everyone was excited to celebrate the holiday season together. His manager, Dara Tracy, later recalled, "Trevor was always the life of the party, so positive and full of energy." After the official party ended, Trevor and some colleagues moved on to Buck Whaley's nightclub. They continued to enjoy the night until around 3:25 a.m., when Trevor decided it was time to head home. Little did anyone know that this would be the last time he would be seen. As Trevor left the nightclub, he faced two significant challenges: a heavy rainstorm with winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour, and a taxi strike that left him with no choice but to walk home. So he began making his way back toward his apartment in Ballsbridge. About 10 minutes into his walk, around 3:35 a.m., Trevor arrived at his office building. He crossed through the front gate of the building and made his way to the rear entrance, where he called security to let him in. CCTV footage from that night shows a man dressed in black lingering near the front gate and then following Trevor as he walked to the rear. Upon reaching the back entrance, Trevor briefly chatted with the man before entering the building. Once inside, Trevor spoke with a colleague named Carl Pender, but he made no mention of the mysterious man he had encountered outside. He made himself a cup of tea and checked his emails before leaving again around 4:03 a.m., taking a promotional golf umbrella with him. Just before leaving the office, Trevor made a voicemail call to his friend, Glenn Cullen, saying, "Hi Glenn, I'm on my way home now. I'll talk to you tomorrow." This message would become one of the last pieces of evidence linking him to that night. At 4:14 a.m., CCTV footage captured Trevor walking past what was then an AIB bank on Haddington Road. Tragically, this footage represents the last confirmed sighting of him. A man dressed in black was seen following him about 30 seconds later. When Trevor didn't show up for work on Monday, December 11th, concerns began to grow among his family and friends. His flatmates were away for the weekend and hadn't realized he was missing either. It wasn't until Monday that alarm bells rang when his family reported him missing after failing to reach him. In the days following his disappearance, Trevor's family and friends launched an extensive search effort. They distributed hundreds of flyers and went door to door asking if anyone had seen him. Detective Sergeant Michael Fitzgerald, who worked on the case from the beginning, noted, "I've never worked on a case where the family were so proactive." His brother Mark Deely immediately drove from his home in County Mayo to Dublin upon receiving the news. He spent 2 months searching for Trevor before returning home. "It was like living in a nightmare," Mark recalled. Unfortunately, the delay in reporting Trevor's absence meant crucial time was lost in the investigation. The area where he was last seen had been cleaned in preparation for a visit from Bill Clinton just days later, erasing any potential evidence. Despite extensive searches by authorities, including divers scouring local waterways, no trace of Trevor was found. The local community gathered to support the Deely family, offering their assistance and volunteering for the search. Friends and strangers alike joined in distributing flyers and sharing information. The family received overwhelming support from organizations like Missing in Ireland Support Services, which provided practical help but also emotional support during their darkest days. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the uncertainty took a toll on the family. Michelle Deely expressed her anguish, saying, "I want closure. I want to know where he is and what happened after that last clip on the CCTV footage." The not knowing became a source of torment for them. As she put it, "I don't believe people vanish. That makes no sense to me." The disappearance altered the family dynamic significantly. Michelle noted that everything has changed and that nothing would ever be the same again. Their father Michael Deely echoed this sentiment when he said, "We're lucky we've held together. I know some families have broken up when someone goes missing." Authorities conducted extensive investigations but faced challenges due to limited leads. Superintendent Michael Cryan, who served as the family's liaison officer, remarked, "If you can find a body, people can grieve. They have acceptance. But the longer it goes on, the harder it gets." This sentiment resonated deeply with the Deelys as they grappled with their loss. Trevor's sister Pamela poignantly stated on the anniversary of his disappearance, "He is still so sorely missed by us all, and we will never give up." Let's look at the list of possible theories that might have happened to Trevor Deely based on the evidence found. Accidental drowning. One common theory is that Trevor accidentally fell into the nearby River Dodder or Grand Canal while walking home. Given the severe weather conditions that night, with winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour and heavy rain, it's plausible he lost his footing near the water. The Garda Subaqua team conducted extensive searches of these waterways shortly after his disappearance, but found no trace of him. Trevor's sister Michelle expressed her frustration, saying, "Not only was Trevor not found, but nothing he was known to have had with him that evening was found either. Umbrella, coat, phone, wallet, nothing was ever found." This lack of evidence makes this theory difficult to confirm, but remains a possibility. Abduction or foul play. Another theory suggests that Trevor may have been abducted or met with foul play. In August 2017, a police informant alleged that Trevor was murdered by a member of a known criminal gang involved in drugs and prostitution. The informant claimed it was a chance encounter, meaning Trevor and his alleged murderer did not know each other prior to that night. Or voluntary disappearance. Some speculate that Trevor may have chosen to take his or voluntarily disappear. This theory is particularly painful for his family to consider. Michelle has stated, "I get told theories today still from people. People do still think about it from the angle that he took his own life, which is one thing I do know not to be true." She firmly believes Trevor would not have left his family without explanation. In December 2023, Trevor's brother Mark shared that the man seen in the CCTV footage walking behind Trevor had been traced and interviewed by authorities. It is likely that this man is different from the one who was seen beside his office gate. They concluded there was nothing suspicious about his movements, further complicating the investigation. Mark expressed the family's ongoing frustration. "We still absolutely believe that someone knows something." We sadly believe that Trevor encountered the wrong people at the wrong time. For some reason, perhaps a robbery gone wrong or something as simple as accidentally bumping into someone, he may have angered dangerous individuals. These individuals may have been highly intoxicated and aggressive, and the situation could have quickly spiraled out of control. It makes sense to assume that these people were part of a criminal network, as they were able to remove Trevor from the street and take him to an unknown location without leaving any trace. We also believe that this was completely random. At the very least, it could not have been planned earlier than that same night. Trevor's life has been thoroughly examined since his disappearance, and the more you learn about him, the clearer it becomes that he was a genuinely kind person, well-liked by everyone, and seemingly without any enemies. This leads us to believe that he had the worst possible luck and just happened to cross paths with someone looking for trouble. One person of interest is the man seen on CCTV footage interacting with Trevor outside his office just before he disappeared. This footage was later analyzed by filmmakers David Mooney and Marco Bright, who made a TV documentary on the case in 2015. We already know that a man stood outside the back office gate and briefly spoke with Trevor, but after Trevor went inside, two other figures can be seen standing in the shadows. It was later discovered that these two figures were identified as Trevor's work colleagues. However, the man in front has still not been identified. This raises an important question. If the two men behind were work colleagues, did they know the identity of the man in black? Why were they just standing there? While it would be nice to know the answer to these questions, we think they might be a distraction. Of course, we have to assume that the police have asked these same questions and followed up on this lead, even though we haven't been able to find any information about it online. Additionally, we know that the man following Trevor in later footage is not the same person and has been cleared from the case. It would obviously be interesting to know everything the police have discovered about the individual seen in the surveillance footage, but the likelihood is just as great, if not greater, that the people involved were never captured on camera at all. Once again, the fact that none of Trevor's personal belongings have been found, especially given how close he was to home, supports the theory that something sinister happened. In conclusion, until a body is found, it's impossible to hold anyone accountable. However, we must stress once again that if this had been an accident, it's highly likely that some trace of him would have been found. As time passes without any significant findings, Trevor's family continues to hold out hope for answers, while urging anyone with information to come forward. As Michael Deely poignantly said years later, "Time has stood still for our family since Trevor vanished."